Okay, this one doesn't really apply all that well, but cooking happens during it, so I decided, all right. But it actually, like, the title should be, like, the best 3-point plan for the future I've ever heard is told to me by somebody having a psychotic break. But, it was, like, basically, I had a party at my house, and it was fun, it was great, and it was, like, this first little, you know, you get your apartment thing, and you have just a big party, and it's a great time. And then the last guest leaves, and I hear a tss, and I figure somebody just left the water on or something like that, so it's all cool. But upon entering, I find Peter. And Peter is awesome, and I don't really know Peter that well. So you have to be awesome if you're the last guy in a dude's apartment and you don't really know, and you're just kind of camping out. And Peter has this black thing in a pot that he's just staring at, and it's not being stirred or motivated in any way. It's just, and he's just looking at it and not blinking. It's quite awesome. So basically, the recipe that he's making is something I find out many years later. I've seen this thing made 3 times in my life. The recipe isn't the point, but I'm fascinated by the recipe. I call it beer-battered hash browns, and there may be a way to actually beer-batter hash browns. I don't know if that's the case, but this is not it. And so basically, what I've seen happen 3 times is they take the potatoes, they put it in the pan. This is always performed very fucked up. The pan does not have any lubrication on it, so basically immediately fuse to the pan this kind of net thing. And then you take a tall boy of PBR, because it's always a damn tall boy of PBR, and you add beer. But you don't like do sober add beer where you're just, oh, how'd that turn out? No, you always like from about up here, just kind of upend it and continue staring at the pot. And it doesn't take long to go wrong. It's not like, oh, we added a bunch of beer and then it looked like shit. It's like, it immediately turns into charcoal. Like 1 second after doing this, the sober person will go, oh my God, I need more potatoes because I've clearly just made something that's going to kill me. And, but no, we've got this black smoldering thing. So, and I just love beer-battered hash browns, because anytime that you see them made, it's like you have to take a moment to like think about checking into rehab. But yeah, he's there doing that. Now, we're about to have a conversation, one of the most interesting conversations I've ever had in my life. And the precursor, will just skip ahead to like precursor. What the word actually means is what happens after the event, I suppose. Is the following morning I receive a call that's like, what did you do to Peter? It's Peter's girlfriend. Peter has come home, packed his things, moved out of their apartment, and disappeared from town. This is the importance, the weight of the conversation we're about to have fucked up at 3 in the morning. So I cannot do justice to the first sentence Peter says. It's because first, my words are, hi Peter. Peter says something to the tune of, men are different from women because men penetrate during sex. So they're always giving, and women are taking. And there may be a way to say that without sounding kind of rapey or something like that, but this was not the way. Like, he just kind of, like, he said that sentence, and it's the only time I've ever heard a sentence that wasn't like saying, I'm going to kick your ass, and taking a defensive step back, because it's a moment of going, oh, we're about to have a situation. This will be very exciting. So, that occurs. So basically, light some cigarettes, you know, I find that like it's helpful, you know, turn off the burner, put something in your hand that's real, that can perhaps again attach you to reality and kind of follow it back, head towards the light and that kind of thing. And this did not happen, but still, and I'm just like, okay, well, I'll just start talking about, you know, theater. I'm getting into the theater. So yeah, I'm starting to chat with him, you know, hey, there's stuff to ground you, you know, acting, stuff like that. Here's what I think is interesting about the stage, all that. And then, He asked me if I want to hear what he wants to do with his life, but he doesn't ask that way. He, while in profile with this still smoldering ruin in front of him, just goes, you want to hear my plan? And that is the scariest shit in the world. And it's like, part of me is like, I've got to get up in the morning. There are many things I need to do, but there's a part of your brain that's like, but what's his plan? Because this is going to bother you. This is a watershed moment for the rest of your life. You can walk away now, but for the rest of your life, you're like, what if he had it figured out? I don't know. So it's a 3-phase plan. Step 1 is go to grad school. I've had a long time to think about that, and step one isn't freaky by itself, but I was thinking like, if your plan was like step one, capture penguins with your bare hands, and step two is maim and kill them, and step three is like open a penguin-themed restaurant, it's messed up. But you don't really have to put it on your radar because there's a good chance step one isn't really going to happen. But grad school is like attainable, so it's kind of like, okay. So then we go, all right, yeah, grad school, what you going for? He's like, I'm getting to that. Then he goes, step two is build a submarine. Because, like, I always think of like that quote from Poe movies where it's like, how do you make a ship? I don't know, Brendan, you find stuff and you make it. And I think that applies to submarines as well. It's like, you'll just figure it out. You need to play jazz with that action. Then we move on to step three, which is amazing, and it is communicate with dolphins using techno music and holograms. Straight to it. We're going to talk to fucking mammalian water-based things, just like, and they're going to rave out. It's just going to be awesome because that's what they've been waiting for. Like, in his brain, dolphins have been down there forever, just like, do you have any Moby? We don't want to talk to you unless you have Moby. And the problem, the reason that I think I contribute to psychotic breaks a little bit is that I'm very agreeable when I'm messed up. So, like, in my mind, I'm screaming, oh my God, don't let him reach for the knife drawer. But outwardly, I'm just like, yeah, submarine, man. That's not a problem. And I'm like, oh, dolphins will love techno music. Holograms, who hasn't thought of holograms? Fantastic, I love this idea. So yes, I, through my drugged up agreeableness, led a man off to some sort of great wide open, and I really hope he found that dream. Okay, thank you.